Now that you've mastered games like Breath of Fire and Brainlord, we think you're ready for a role-playing game where the sun doesn't shine, and the monsters grow big. Really big. In Brandish, you stand accused of murder, being pursued by a fearless bounty hunter looking to collect the reward. About to be captured, you fall into a deep underworld maze filled with dangerous traps and deadly monsters, including giant crabs, headless fist-pounding warriors, and fire-spitting gargoyles. With the bounty hunter still hot on your trail, you must navigate your way out of the mazes and back to the surface ASAP. Our only advice, stay alert, well-armed, and always moving upwards. And this is Brandish for the Super Nintendo from Falcom and Koei, released February 1995, part of the Brandish franchise. I own this game. This is one of the hardest friggin' games I have ever played in my life. It is very difficult. It was also available, just so you know, on the PC Engine, and including an expanded re-release titled Brandish Renewal. This is based on the first title of Nihon Falcom series of the same name. It has 3 sequels, of which I will be getting around to playing all of eventually. Not the PSP remake, though. Didn't need to be a thing. So, what makes this game unique is it's a top-down dungeon crawler, kind of think Zelda, but instead of you moving and turning, you stay positioned and the dungeon moves and turns around you. Our character, Varric, can move forward, backward, turn left or turn right, or strafe. We can investigate objects, we can open chests, we can interact with switches and doors, we can cast magic, we have a sword which we use to attack with, which most of them have limited use. We have the ability to stop and rest anytime we want to fill up our health, but we are incredibly vulnerable at the time. You have a shield which you can use to defend with, which is done automatically. My goodness. The plot is very rich and very detailed. You get a really good look at it, and really good, just interesting cutscene at the beginning of the game, and then it's really just kind of dripped out to you throughout the rest of the game through conversations with NPCs. There are shops aplenty in this game, and you have to be very, very close with your spending because monsters don't drop money. There is a fixed amount of money to a point in this game, and you need to be very, very certain that what you are spending your money on is what you want to spend your money on. And maybe not buy that armor right away. You might find some a little later in the game. Who knows? Originally released by Nihon Falcom for the NEC PC 9801 and FM Towns home computers, Brandish was re-released for the Super Nintendo and the PC Engine. The PC Engine version was published by NEC and features CD quality music as well as vocal dialogue and narration. I am super interested to hear the music CD quality because the music in this game is fantastic. The SNES port is the only English language version of the game ever released, was published by Koei in 1994, and a few months later in Japan. A few months later in North America. Due to Nintendo of America's policies at the time, the game was regionally censored in a depiction of the revealing costume one of the characters had. Although, to point out, there's a very naked lady later on in the game. I think it's supposed to be like a sprite or something, but it doesn't matter. GamePro gave the SNES version a mixed review, commenting that the combat, though simplistic, is more fun than it sounds. They criticized the practically non-existent sound effects and repetitive music, and complained that the way the automap does not rotate along with the scenery is confusing, but concluded that the game's long length and addictive maze crawling make it worthwhile. They gave it a 4 for control, 3.5 for graphics, 2.5 for sound, 4.5 out of 5 for fun. Video Games gave it a score of 7 out of 10, commenting that with its relatively weak graphics, Brandish goes for solid gameplay over Flash, and RPG Fan gave it an overall score of 75%. I really like this game. I need to just get around to actually doing the second game in the series because I think it's really, really good. Real quick, the North American re-release, The Dark Revenant, was worked on by Atlas, who a lot of you will know, and Xseed, who you might know from Little King Story. Xseed worked on quite a lot of really good games. So with both of them working on it, I'm sure the remake is fine. Just didn't need it. Anyway, Brandish, really good, really simple to look at, really complex to master, really good story, really good challenge. Give it a try. I cannot recommend it enough. And if you don't want to try it but want to see it, there is an old Let's Play at the website.